My name is Neil Hare-Brown. I'm the CEO and founder of Blackthorn Technogies. We're one of the largest digital forensics companies in the UK and perform work around a whole range of areas, digital investigations, in law enforcement and also in corporate investigations as well. Day in the life, so really it's in helping organisations on the corporate side to respond to data breaches. That's not only from an external attack, but also lots of it, the insider threat as well. And in terms of law enforcement investigations, it is in sometimes assisting law enforcement officers in search and seizure, otherwise taking receipt of digital exhibits, so that's computers, mobile devices, GPS, even embedded systems, and then proceeding with the analysis of those systems through an imaging process where we're acquiring the data in a high integrity way, keeping a contemporaneous record of what we're doing, and then actually using a whole range of different types of tools to analyse that data and determine evidence of guilt or even of innocence. So, and then presenting that information to the court. So sometimes a day in the life will actually involve going to court and giving evidence as an expert witness. So a high would be in receiving information. We don't always hear about the results from cases that we work on, but where we do hear about those cases, and we're sent congratulations and thanks from the investigating officers. So on the law enforcement side, in receiving that information that, for instance, guilty pleas have been given by suspects, or indeed if they've not given a guilty plea, then they've actually been found guilty by the court. So that's quite a good high. In terms of the commercial investigations, it's really the highs are involved in helping commercial organisations actually get back to business as usual, or as close to it as possible, to minimise the impact on their businesses and to help them ideally learn from the breaches and the incidents that they've suffered. In terms of lows, really it's in the cases where we've seen evidence presented by, not from ourselves, but by others in not a great way, and that's essentially meant that, for instance, people who we've thought there was a really good case against have gone free. And generally a bad day in terms of commercial investigations will be where we've not been able to investigate as thoroughly as we would have liked to. Generally that's because, unfortunately, in many cases, organisations that are not, have called us too late, have unfortunately trampled all over potential evidence unwittingly themselves, and that's meant that we haven't been able to come to as best a result as would have been liked. I'm probably one of the old boys of the industry. I sort of got into information security in the late 80s, and I would say that in those days it was great. You know, I say great, it's still great now, but in those days there was definitely not many people involved, and pretty much you go to meetings such as those today, the ISP and CREST, which have now got hundreds of members, and you'd be sort of in a room with where there was only sort of 3 people, and one of those was a tea lady. So certainly things have grown a lot. It's a very, very much more richer career now. There's lots of things to learn. There's many different specialisms. Previously, you know, if you were in IT security, that really was your career and generally involved a reasonably short list of things to have to skill up for and keep an eye on. Nowadays, it's split into many different areas of specialism. It's impossible to really be an information or an IT security specialist now. It's really, well, what type of specialist are you? So I'd say pick your area of specialism, determine or decide for yourself what is the most important thing to you in terms of rewards. Is it purely monetary? Is it about esteem, if you like, and is it about what you can do for society in general, as well as the organisation specifically that you work for? And then really sort get mentored and really concentrate in that particular area.